I'm here at the Arctic Base Camp at the World Economic Forum 2025, and we are on top of the Magic Mountain. And I am thrilled to have this conversation with Philip Ajina, the founding partner of Infranode, who's actually been camping here at the base camp. So, Philip, why don't we start with you telling our audience a little bit about, did you sleep last night? How was it?
Well, thank you for taking time to talk to me. Yeah, I mean that's it's a good opening of this interview. I mean, I'm a proud father of three back home in Stockholm, and when my son Alfred, who's 11 years old, asked me, "Dad, why are you going to World Economic Forum?" I said it's all about widening perspectives, exchanging perspectives, and going outside the comfort zone. And I figured staying in a tent dedicated to polar Arctic expeditions is probably one way to start going outside of the comfort zone. So I woke up this morning in this tent behind me, and I must say the fresh Alp air was really a good start of the morning.
And I guess this gives you credibility with your kids too, right? Now they think you're practicing what you preach as well. Is that fair to say?
I would definitely hope so.
Okay, so you're a cool dad. So now the audience knows that. Tell us more about who you are. Tell us what it is you do. Share for our audience. What is Infranode?
So Infranode is a Nordic-based and Nordic-focused infrastructure and transition investor that I co-founded together with my founding partners now 11 years ago. We invest institutional capital in the transition and renovation of society in the Nordic countries.
Okay, so I understand a little bit about your organization, what it is you do. What brings you to Davos? Why was it important to come here?
For me and for Infranode, it's important to be here in Davos because it's a melting pot of global perspectives on how the world will have to change for the coming generations.
And this is your first time in Davos, you told me before we went on camera. So what are you feeling so far?
Well, my feeling is that Davos is indeed a place where you can get mind-boggling perspectives from people from all over the world, where everyone has their own agenda and their own conviction. And by listening to each other and expanding the perspectives, I think we are in a place where things can actually change.
Okay, and so I know you're going to be attending the Swedish Lunch today. It's quite a popular event every year in Davos, and we see the cable cars are packed to the brims with attendees arriving. And so, what do you hope to achieve by attending the Swedish Lunch yourself?
Well, I think the Swedish Lunch is interesting because it promotes the values from Sweden, and one of those is collaboration and togetherness. And when we built Infranode very much as a partner to society, channeling private capital and ownership into public sector transition and infrastructure. And if you look at the Nordics, it's quite a fascinating place in the sense that according to the World Economic Forum Energy Transition Index, the four Nordic countries are ranked 1, 2, 3, and 6 in the world when it comes to transition. But if you combine that with the fact there's roughly 1 trillion euros that needs to be invested for that region alone to be transitioned to net zero, it shows you what challenge we have also in the Nordics, but even more globally. So I believe that the Nordics and Sweden in particular are very good inspiration for the global perspective on how we can collaborate to change the world for a better place for coming generations.
I think that was really well said. It's basically showcasing what's already been done, how much more needs to be done, and really leading by example. And so the Swedish Lunch at the top of this mountain in Davos is going to be part of that, just showcasing how far the Nordics have come, and hopefully encouraging some of the other delegations that are here to follow suit. What do you think about the nature of who is here that needs to maybe hold accountability and also recognize that they have a role to play in this global transition?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of very prominent people around, but I do think that it's really us, you and me, and everyone else that needs to contribute to make the difference. So with those global leaders and regional and local leaders that are here today, they can inspire others. But it's really about you and me in our everyday lives where we need to change to make sure that the world actually transitions to a more sustainable place for the coming generations.
So Sweden is doing its part. You are doing your part as an individual, as a father. Do you plan to bring your kids back here next year potentially to camp with you?
Well, they are avid skiers, so maybe not during this week, but I would love to come back here myself. But definitely coming to ski in the Swiss Alps is on the agenda for the kids as well.
And final message to our audience, what is it hope that you would like to communicate to everybody that's tuning in and watching this interview from all over the world? And we have young people, we have those that are working and practicing in clean energy transition. What message would you like to get out to them?
Well, I would start by saying if you have a good sleeping bag, it's fine to spend your night in a tent, even if it's below 0 degrees. But then I would go back to the point where everybody can make a change and it starts in your everyday life. And I think in these times of uncertainty, I would say the world is very unpredictable, but also maybe predictable due to being very unpredictable. So I think in these times when there are sentiment out there that is going maybe backwards, it's even more important that we continue to unite and stay focused and stay on the right path.
Great message to our audience. Thank you so much, Philip. You really are practicing what you preach. And please stay warm.
Thank you. I will for sure.